All right, ladies and gentlemen, election 2025 Eve is on and popping. We about to get into it right here on the Urban Conservative. Hit that like, hit that follow, hit that share. It's about to go down.
Welcome to the Urban Conservative Podcast, where we do not believe that avocado toast can save the planet or the world will end, because cars use gasoline. You won't hear that Wi-Fi is a basic human right, or that billionaires are secretly supervillains. Here, we do not believe that electric cars run on hopes and dreams. You also won't hear that anyone who disagrees with us is a fascist, or that socialism will make everyone rich. You won't be gender affirmed or offered any opportunity to share your preferred pronouns. If this causes you any discomfort, please rest assured that we couldn't possibly care less. For everyone else, thank you, and please stand by.
My fellow Americans, it's time for the Urban Conservative Podcast. This is without a doubt the best podcast on the internet. It's about to go down here on the Urban Conservative.
3, 2, 1.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you know what it is. It is Monday night. It is 2025 election eve, bro.
It is. I'm excited. I'm going to lose the glasses because of the reflection. We're in the makeshift studio right now. But yeah, tomorrow's the big day. A lot to talk about on this episode. It's Monday night. It's November 3rd. It's an exciting time to be a Republican. It's an exciting time to be involved in local politics. It's a very interesting time to just see the direction of the country that we're in right now, obviously. And as usual, we ask everybody hit the like, follow, subscribe. Make sure to visit tuconservative.com to check out what we do here on the Urban Conservative, which is help minority communities and urban communities get engaged civically in the benefits of conservative policy and policy makers. So I don't know where to start, man.
Before we jump in, right? You had mentioned this off air. This week on Tuesday, Massachusetts Governor Maura Healey's aide.
We're starting there. I don't know why you even jumped in right there. Like, no, that's not what we talked about. Not what we talked about.
No, that's not what we talked about. But here's the thing, right? And you're going to be like, why are you saying that, right? So here's the thing. When I finally saw a picture of the dude, son, like when I finally saw a picture of the dude, I just feel like he's the guy with the coke. I just feel like he's the guy.
Listen, I'm going to tell you now, these days, you don't know who got it. You just don't know. You don't know. You never know who's dipping in the nose candy there.
But here's my question. You got this guy getting caught up in that. We've got a state house rep in Raleigh who's under $1 million bond for SA with a minor. What are these people thinking? Like,
let's get this guy off the screen here. Let's do away with him because I just feel like I don't want to look at him. I don't want to look at him. Can we just start over? Because I didn't want to start there. You just jump right in the deep end. I was not anticipating any of that at all. But listen, apparently the government shutdown is affecting people in different ways. That's all I can say. People that take life chances. This is, and all jokes aside, I really have to say, this is a very interesting election cycle for us both. Obviously, my first time as a candidate, something you're not unfamiliar with.
Not at all.
We're gonna circle back to the Black El Chapo. We're gonna circle back for that. We're gonna circle back, but I did want to start the show off on a little bit different of a note, Ali, because the elections, especially here in New York, here in Suffolk County, very near and dear to us. I have been a part of a slate of candidates here in the town of Southampton. Obviously, I'm running for Suffolk County Legislative District 2, which is all of Southampton, all of East Hampton, and it's been an absolute pleasure and honor to be on the slate. with some of these candidates. So as I mentioned, I'm running for Suffolk County Legislative District 2, and in Legislative District 1, we have an incumbent in Catherine Stark, who has been around for decades, who knows her district better than anyone, and is very deserving of all the endorsements that she's gotten from law enforcement and all around the board. Unanimous endorsements across the board, even though some of the media obviously chose to go with the challenger. The support for her has been just unanimous. So if you're on the North Shore here in Suffolk County, you're on the East End. On the North Shore, Catherine Stark is going to be your legislative vote, and me, Raheem Soto, on your line for Legislative District 2, which is Southampton and East Hampton. Appreciate the support. Been an amazing campaign, I have to say. And it's been one of the campaigns, Ali, that we've
Mhm.
conducted ourselves as adults. Myself and the incumbent, my opponent, we've both conducted ourselves, in a very adult fashion, I have to say. But real quick, I want to go to the second batch of candidates here, because these are, for me here locally, these are some very, very important races. So if you're here in the town of Southampton, and again, shouts out to our Southampton Town GOP committee. Shouts out to Chairman BJ Carpenter, and the whole committee for doing an amazing job. We have an incredible slate here. I mean, a woman who really needs no introduction, but many of you don't realize the importance of a town clerk and record keeping, and just maintaining the business of a town and record keeping of a town. And somewhere as historic as the town of Southampton, with our history dating back to the late 1500s, early 1600s, these records are amazing, and the things that she's been able to do at the town clerk's office has been amazing. So shouts out to Sunday Shermeyer. Now the town council, a lot of y'all are familiar. Some of y'all call them town boards. Some of y'all call them city councils, depending on the size of your municipality. But here in the town of Southampton, we have two candidates. Scroll down a little bit for me, bro. Um,
Mhm.
both like no up a little more, both lifelong residents of the town of Southampton, both people in Cindy McNamara and Rick Martell. Bro, I gotta tell you, he pulled out a special election and really set the tone for Republicans in Suffolk County, and going into this election cycle. That is Rick Martell joining the board again. So you're gonna want to vote for two on that line, and that's gonna be row B or C for Cindy McNamara or Rick Martell. Southampton Town Superintendent of Highways, obviously Charlie McArdle, great guy there. And now, just real quick, because there's 5 trustee candidates, right? And these are all great guys, I have to say, amazing guys who only one of them hasn't served as a trustee. So scroll up a little bit, just a little bit for me. Scroll up just a little bit. All right, so right there, so you got Scott Horowitz, you got Ed Warner Jr., excuse me, Chip Marin. Under him should be Bill Parrish, and then John Carson. I've got to spend a lot of time around John. Really, really good guy. And obviously, all of these gentlemen love the town of Southampton, and they love being trustees and taking care of our waterways and our blue economy here on the east end. The Southampton town owned, trustee owned property, the beach access that's so important to our way of life here. Your trustees protect that. So, last but not least, I have to say that there's also a proposition on the back of our ballot here. And this is because the Democrats have at the state level decided to bundle election years. We now have to do a term limit adjustment. In other words, now instead of a legislator serving a 2-year term, they'll serve a 4-year term, so that there's no cross ballot. That ballot isn't 27 pages long and cost the taxpayers, millions of more dollars. Conservative estimates have it. So you want to vote yes on Prop 2 for term limits, so that your legislators can do the work instead of being campaigning every 9.5 months. They actually have some time to get things done, which I think is fair. So that's what we got here on the East End. And again, I have to say it's been an absolute honor and privilege to run with this slate of candidates that we have here on the East End. These are people that I honestly admire. You know how we grew up, Ali. You know what we saw coming up. So when you see people that care enough about their community to put themselves out there and run for office and deal with some of the slings and arrows, one of our candidates, I'll say this. One of our candidates, Cindy McNamara, had thousands and thousands of dollars spent on her against her campaign with a malicious mailer. calling her a MAGA extremist, and this is someone I've never seen post anything Trump anywhere. Not saying she's not a Republican, but she's never made that her thing. It's always been about the community. It's always been, she started off in local government, kind of like you did.
Yeah,
And so
but
the
bro,
attacks
it's
are
kind of
disgusting.
weird. It's kind of weird when you hear somebody say you're a MAGA extreme. You want your country to be extremely great, and that's a problem. That's just
Yeah, well, out here it has a different
no.
connotation,
I get
but
that. I
even
get
with
that.
that, it's just it's so disingenuous. If that was a certain type of person and you levied that attack against them, that was Trump,
Yeah.
Trump, 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 then you might have some ground. But you're talking about somebody who doesn't discuss really national politics. They're concerned about what's going on in their backyard, and so the attacks from the left, obviously rear their ugly head, but besides that, and I don't want to minimize that, Ali, it's been an amazing campaign. I think we got some good, I know we got some good candidates, and we're gonna look forward to some victories tomorrow night. We're gonna be at the VFW if you're around and you want to come through, starting at about 8:30 for election results live here in the town of Southampton. So let's go to
Let me
commercial.
do this.
Yeah, go
I was
ahead.
gonna say, let's go to commercial real quick. We'll drop a commercial, and then when we come back, we got some Charlotte elections that I want to get popped off real quick. And since tomorrow's election day, we're gonna hit y'all with a commercial that looks like this.
For a safer, more affordable Suffolk County, vote for Raheem Soto for Suffolk County Legislature District 2. Election day is Tuesday, November 4th. Paid for by Soto for Suffolk.
Like it? I like it.
Yeah, yeah. Why not do that? Well, real quick, ladies and gentlemen, we also have municipal elections going on here in the great state of North Carolina. We've got the city of Charlotte has a mayoral race, and I got to give a major shout out to Terry Donovan, who's been working her tail off against Vile Isles. We've got a mayor who has been in place for a very long time, who has failed the transparency test, has failed the keeping the citizens safe test. When you look, we just had another double homicide yesterday. 17-year-old girl unfortunately shot at a Halloween party. I was just at the vigil for a 4-year-old boy who was sleeping in his home, happened to get shot sitting in his house, and the mayor didn't even have the decency to reach out to the family. So I'm 1,000% behind Terry Donovan. We've got to get her elected. We've also got Ed Peacock, who's running for city council at large. He currently represents the 6th district in city council, but he's running at large. You've got Krista Bakari and James Bowers, who are running for District 3 and District 6. Some of y'all might know Krista Bakari. Her husband was the representative for District 6. He went to work at the transportation department. He's now back in Charlotte. We've got to get Lisa Klein, Justin Shealy, Coach Hall, and Bill Fountain on school board. Right now, Lisa Klein, we have one Republican on school board, and we're looking to try to get her some help. So major opportunities for us to pick up some races in Charlotte. Tomorrow is a very, very big day happening in Charlotte. So one other thing that I want to say about this municipal election thing, bro, because a lot of times people complain and oh my God, I don't like the roads. I don't like the bridges. I don't like what's happening with the schools. I don't like what's happening with the city government and the way they're spending money and the way they do the leave pickup and the way they, you know what I'm saying? But 18 to 15 to 18% turnout in a municipal election. So how bad is it really? You understand what I'm saying? And it's not like you're talking about voting for some far off thing. We're not, you're not voting for some random, it's not like state auditor or something like that where you kind of almost don't even know what that is. We're talking about the mayor. We're talking about your city council.
Well, I've come to realize that people, there's a lot of variables with the low voter turnout, and I think a lot of that has to do with the media. I think the media has done a don't take this the wrong way, a terrific job of turning people off from politics. They've done a great job of turning people away and turning people off. And I think a lot of this also has to do with once you become an elected official, and here in Suffolk County, I have to say we do a great job with this, but it how does your constituents know? Like, how do you educate your constituents about policies that are coming out that are going to affect them? And I think when you have these offices and you have the power of the purse, if you will, to go ahead and get mailers out to the public, to go ahead and do social media campaigns, you're supposed to maximize visibility for policy and programs that are available to the community. And we don't do that. I don't think we do a good enough
Nah,
job of that.
I'll point this out. I forgot to mention this. So on the ballot in Charlotte tomorrow in Mecklenburg County, countywide, is a proposed referendum to increase sales tax to fund transportation. Um, they're saying this is what they're saying, that they're going to build a red line commuter rail to northern Mech, build a silver line light rail from the airport to uptown, from the airport to Bojangles Coliseums, extend the blue line rail to Pineville, extend the gold line, expand bus service. Nobody's really riding the bus now. Now, some people are saying this tax is going to impact the poorest citizens first. You've got city government about to spend $3 million between the city and the county to rebuild a nightclub instead of hiring security people to work on the light rail. I've never even, yo, Ryan, you know how you get on a train in New York City or any other major place, you have to check your ticket? Like you can't even get on the train without getting a ticket. Here, you could just walk on the train. You just walk on the train. Like it's no ticket checker. There's no, restricted access to the thing, not just because of the Arena Zarutska situation, just because in general, this hasn't been well thought out. So whether you're for or whether you're against this tax. Now, here's my argument, bro. I've heard all of the county people, the county commissioner say, we got to leave it up to the people. We need to put it on the ballot so the people can decide. My question is, why not put this on the ballot during the midterm when you're going to have 75%, 80% turnout instead of letting 15% of the people make a decision that's going to impact the entire county? That's my problem.
That is one of the natures of the partisanship, the partisan nature of things. The Democrats are, though they may not have sound fiscal policy, though we would differ on certain policy ideas, let's just say, these are not stupid people when it comes to manipulation of emotions. And the one thing,
No.
no,
And
because
keep
they
in mind, there are no Republicans on the Mecklenburg County Commission, ladies and gentlemen. Not a single solitary Republican. So, I forgot to mention that sales tax only because that is a huge reason why you need to show up and you need to vote tomorrow. The same thing with this Prop 2 thing that my brother was talking about out where he's at. This disconnect, bro, you're right. The media has something to do with it, but I also think there's an element of laziness. there's an element of, oh, again, another election. There's another element of I gotta
But
take
that's
off of
it.
work.
All right. Well, we can't unpack this tonight, but I feel like that there's a educational issue here. The zeal and zest. I think there's a nexus where respect and honor for your country and liberty. There's a nexus where they should meet. Right. There should be. You should have a healthy respect for how your country and your municipality operates because that's how it's preserved. So if not enough people preserve our way of life here or fight for our way of life here on the East End, with knowing that we're travel based, tourism is a lot of our finance, that our blue economy, our fishermen, our baymen, our those people are the, we how can you not know these things in the community function? How can you preserve what people don't know about? And so
That's right.
here you have this very interesting dynamic where a lot of the people, if not most of the people here, are second homeowners. Think about
Mm,
that. Where your population is made up of second homeowners and people that are coming in seasonally versus people that live here all year round and been here for generations. So, there's a lot of interesting dynamics, but a lot to consider. And there's so much that happens on this municipal, city, county, and town level that, tomorrow's elections are just super important, and I think we could do a better job of getting people to understand that. So let's take a commercial break because we need to talk about New York City, and
Oh
we need
my
to
gosh,
talk about
New York
Virginia.
City.
Yeah,
Oh,
quick
all right.
commercial break.
Quick commercial, y'all. We'll be right back.
Just because you're black doesn't mean you have to vote Democrat. This year, in order to see benefits for our communities, we need to vote outside the box. Find out more by visiting us at tuconservative.com.
The Urban Conservative is sponsored in part by Gyra Family Farms, providing your family with fresh meat, eggs, poultry, produce, and so much more. Visit gyrafamilyfarm.net to find out about their summer farm camp program, events and classes, and their exclusive Farm Share membership, which will give you 15% off all your purchases. Again, visit gyrafamilyfarm.net to find out more.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you're back. Election Eve special here on the Urban Conservative Podcast. As always, jump in the comments. Let us know where you're watching from. I got to give a big shout out to Gastonia on the check-in. Big shout out to Wilmington on the check-in. Hey, we got some folks from Brevard, North Carolina in the building. Shouts out to y'all. Got to give a big up to Texas. We got some Houston and some San Antonio folks in the building. So shouts out to y'all as well.
Let me do this before we go into this New York City thing. And starting with New York City, I have to give a humongous, super big shout out to our Suffolk County GOP chairman Jesse Garcia. And the reason I'm saying this is because here in Suffolk County, we have a Republican majority. Okay. Here in Suffolk County, we have a Republican county executive. Here in Suffolk County, we have a Republican comptroller. Here in Suffolk County, we have a Republican district attorney. Okay.
Sure do.
So the place that Suffolk County and the way that Suffolk County is trending, New York City, we're about to take a lot of influx from the city. The estimates have about 800,000 people to mass exit New York City as a result of Mamdani. This is the numbers that approximately 850,000 people will leave New York City. Now, here's the issue, and where we need to be prepared for this on the East End. Most of those folks are coming right here. When it gets too bad, they're going to come right here. And guess what they're going to do? Guess what they're going to do?
Vote
for the people that are like him. And then they're going to turn here into there. That's what their attempt is. Like, it's going to happen. It's going to happen if we don't do something about it.
So let me ask you this. What do you say? Because I don't know if you saw the news that just happened just now. It just got reported. Trump has come out and endorsed Cuomo over Curtis Sliwa. Just dropped a few minutes ago. Should Sliwa have dropped out of that race? Like, do you think it matters? Should he have dropped out?
There's obviously, all right. So there's, I think, a few angles that this needs to be observed from. Okay. So if I'm looking at this and I go, okay, I look at this from the party level, then maybe yes. If we're all Republicans and Cuomo or blah blah blah, like there's a point of view where it makes sense for him to drop out. Then there's the point of view which I think is a little more closely related to where Mr. Sliwa is seeing things, where it's like I'm a New Yorker, I'm an American, I have the right to do this. What do you mean drop out? Like what do you mean sit down? Like, no, it's my right to fight for my city and my country and my my people. No, I can see where that would be almost disrespectful. I can understand where that would be somewhat disrespectful to ask him to do, but then there's the statistical probabilities and the numbers where it's like, yeah, but this factor here and says this. So, I see all sides of it, honestly. And what's gonna happen is the guy in the middle is gonna win. Yeah, the communist guy's gonna win, and it's gonna be insane. It's gonna be insane.
Yo, make sure New York City, if you're watching, I want to see pictures of these supermarkets as they get up and running. I want to see it.
Hochul already shot him down. Hochul already shot him down.
Yeah,
was like,
they're not going to raise taxes. They're not going to do that. Here's the only other problem that I have. I've watched some of his videos and he's too it's too polished for me. Like if I lived in New York, it'd be too polished. Now, this is gonna sound terrible. This is gonna sound horrible. This is gonna sound, I don't even know how this is gonna sound, bro. I just can't imagine New York City, the place where 9/11 happened, electing a Muslim as mayor. I just I don't get it.
Well, I'm a little bit different. I could see it happen, right? Because New York has elected some characters, buddy. Let's just call it what it is.
So
New
so
York has
you're
elected some
saying
characters.
The Trump endorsement's not gonna help.
Probably
It's
not.
too little, too late.
Probably.
Sliwa is gonna pull in the just because Sliwa drops out doesn't mean people automatically vote for Cuomo, though.
Kind of does.
Kind of like, well,
It
if I ain't
just
got him, I'll choose him. Does it really work that way?
sometimes in this bad of a situation, yeah, you're gonna take. I mean, but then again, like the guy's gonna win. Let's just stop. He's gonna win.
Yeah, but I don't think he gets much done, bro. I just
It doesn't matter. He's gonna win, and he's gonna make sure that this place turns into a dump.
All right. Well, let's do this real quick before we go to Virginia. You got the New Jersey governor's race. Now, I watched this debate. I watched the, I don't know if it was the second
Good
debate
for
or whatever
him.
debate.
Why is it good for him?
You don't think that debate was good for him?
Mm, not really. No.
Okay, I thought he did a fantastic job.
What? At what part? At what part?
So he was taught when he talked about her not having answers on how to deal with the economic issue facing New Jersey. When he talked, like he was very solution oriented, very detailed plan oriented, and I just felt if I lived in Jersey and I didn't know any better, and I just saw that debate, I'd be like, yeah, that's the guy who's got the answers. She didn't really have the answers,
Well,
Sway.
no, you know what I think it is? It's people almost vote for who they like in some circumstances, and he comes off like your principal. Like he's too. I'm not saying that in a bad way, but you feel like how you feel like you in trouble. Like like I'm gonna see you to the principal's office. Like that's the guy. Look at him. Look at him.
Now you got me thinking of Mr. Cantucci, the principal. Like, yeah, I'm saying, okay. So who do you think pulls this out? Do you think he pulls this out, or you think she's gonna get it?
I honestly, it's so close right now. I hope he pulls it out. Right. Am I confident in that? If I had to bet, I'd 50-50 it. It's a toss up with that race. It really is at this point.
So what I'm gonna do real quick, I want to see what the betting has it as. What is it? What's the betting site? Yeah, I got it. I got the Poly Market. Hold on. So Poly Market right now, 86% Mikey Sherrill, the Democrat, to 15% Jack how do you pronounce that?
Citarelli,
Chitterelli.
Citarelli.
Citarelli. Yeah, he's getting mollywopped in Poly Market right now. 86-14.
It's gonna happen.
You think she's gonna blow him out of the water like
Yeah,
that?
do you know how much money they spent on this race?
How
They spent
much?
millions on this race. If I'm
Yeah,
not
and then you
mistaken, millions have went into that race.
oh my
Oh,
gosh, and then one of the comments on Poly Market says Jack CIA Tortellini. I'm done. I'm done.
what I'm saying, the internet has no chill. There's just
At
no
all.
decency. There's
At
no
all.
decency anymore. Come on. Even though that is kind of funny, I'm just saying.
It is kind of funny. So your Poly Market has her blowing him out of the water. Let's do this. We're going to take one last quick commercial break. We're going to talk about the elephant in the room. That is the Virginia gubernatorial race. Interesting race. We're going to be right back on the Urban Conservative. Y'all don't move.
For a safer, more affordable Suffolk County, vote for Raheem Soto for Suffolk County Legislature District 2. Election day is Tuesday, November.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, the elephant, proverbial elephant in the room, the Virginia gubernatorial race. The first time in the history of the United States of America, you can have a black female governor. What stands in her way, you ask? The standard liberal lady. Now, my one issue with the governor's race, and I'm behind Winsome Sears. I've met her a few times. Was actually in DC with her not long ago. The problem I have is the debate. I'm gonna tell you my problem with the debate. I get the strategy that Winsome Sears was going for, strong, aggressive. I get it. I even agree with the moment where she called her out about the trans issue and was like, "What would you say, Abigail?" Abigail, and she just stared. Like, I get that. I just didn't like the fact that she kept cutting the lady off. Like, it's just something about that. Like, I don't know. Just
Well, sometimes you have to though.
okay.
Cause you know how somebody just starts off with such bullshit every time they start talking? You can't let that go. Like, I'm sorry. No. I have to tell you, I'm gonna keep stopping you. Why? Because your premise is we're starting off with a bullshit premise. You the first 16 words in your sentence was nonsensical nonsense. It was word like I have to stop you. I cannot allow you to continue to use your orifice to project vibrations. I cannot allow it. Like I get it. I get it. Sometimes people are like that. But I see why that would turn you off. I see why.
So I just looked at the poly market. You're not gonna believe this.
Yeah, she's getting mollywopped.
Abigail Spanberger, 98%, Winsome Sears, 2%. Now, that is aside from the actual polls. The last poll had this thing razor close. Like, this is a 50-50. The problem I think you're going to run into in Virginia is that, and I think the Democrats are going to run into in Virginia, is you got that whole issue with the guy talking about, offing people and all this kind of stuff. But then the other thing you got to think about, bro, Virginia's coal country. You got a lot of coal, in Virginia. Republican policies right now are doing far better for the economy. So I think Winsome Sears pulls this out. It's gonna be close, but I think Winsome Sears is gonna pull this out.
No, you have a liberal white woman versus an intellectually sound black woman. Think about this, and I posted this, that the NAACP did not endorse this woman.
Well, you had Barack Obama, which blows my mind, chastising black men for not voting for Kamala Harris, to then come to Virginia and tell people not to vote for the black woman.
Here goes the other part. Everybody, Trump ain't support her. He's a racist. He didn't support her.
Already came out and did that.
No, that's my point. So now it's like everything y'all find wrong gets fixed, and now what? Now what? So it's up to the voters. I don't know. My heart is with all of the Republicans. My prayers are with all of our Republican candidates nationally. But some of these races are tough. Some of these races are, 5-to-1 races where you're pitching it. It's a tough one, man. It's tough. So we'll see. By Wednesday, by the weekend, we'll know what's what. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think some of these races are going to be very decisive. We're hoping. Here in Charlotte, in North Carolina, we've got elections across the place, Greensboro and Charlotte and all that. The fact of the matter is, you as a Republican have an opportunity, because the turnout is so low, to make a difference. If you haven't voted early, do it tomorrow. Take lunch, go vote. If you got to leave early, go vote. Make your voice heard. Make sure you get out there, support a Republican candidate.
Drag people out with you. Give
That's it.
people rides to go vote. Carpool. That's a big deal. And I also got to give a big shout out to all of our poll inspectors, poll watchers, and all of the volunteers that have over all of these campaigns put in work and helped and donated and sent money and showed up to fundraisers. It's very much appreciated. I'm pretty sure all of the candidates on the slate would say the same thing, that that's the reason they do this, is to make sure that our communities keep moving forward and keep going. So shouts out to all the volunteers, shouts out to all of the committeemen and committee women, and people that are tuned in and tapped in and working hard to get their guys and gals elected. So shouts out to y'all. That's all I got, bro.
All right, and make sure y'all are with us tomorrow night. We're going to have election results from across the country right here on the Urban Conservative. Make sure you hit us with a like. Make sure you hit us with a follow. Tell a friend to tell a friend about the Urban Conservative podcast. We with you each and every Monday night. Make sure you hit that subscribe and notification button on YouTube so you know when we drop content. Facebook at TUC Twins, TU Conservative. For my twin brother Raheem, Architect Soto, I'm Abdul Ali. This has been the Urban Conservative.